the Office of Academic Support Services. Main goal is to advise all of the pre-professional nursing students. So we're going to be your academic advisors. When it comes time for pre-registrations, which will start in October, I believe, Mr. Seat will send out a link or information on Blackboard as to how you sign up for your appointment. And so I use a program, mysignup.com. And that's simply where you go to their website, and that information will be on Blackboard, and you sign up for an appointment to meet with me. And when you sign up, of course, you put your name, you put your contact information and your email address. And the reason I need that information is just in case I get called into a meeting and I can't make the appointment with you, then I contact you. And in the same manner, if you cannot make an appointment with me and you know well enough in advance, you can actually go back on the website and unsign up and reschedule another date. So be looking for that information to come out on Blackboard in another week or two about how to sign up to meet with myself or Ms. Keaton, who is the advising assistant in the office. Those persons who are special students, athletes, in the band, whoever is allowed to register early, the first ones to register, you need to be the first ones making your appointment so that you can get done what you need to get done. What I like to tell the students, I try to I start advising early. I start advising before pre-registration advisement window opens where you can go in and register for your classes. I try to start at least 2 weeks ahead of time because I want to get as many students advised as possible. I want as many students to be able to register in those first 3 days, I believe it is, that is open for all students. I try to get as many students to register in those first 3 days as possible so that you can get into the classes that you need. Because as freshmen, you're on the back end of registering during pre-registration. So a lot of classes are closed when it comes time for you to register, unfortunately. So please take advantage of the opportunity to meet with me 2 weeks before pre-registration starts so that you can go in early and register and get the classes that you want. A lot of you know we have a very, very difficult time getting people into chemistry, getting some people into the math, even getting into some of the English 101 classes. So the earlier that you get in for pre-registration advisement, the better you'll have an opportunity to get the classes that you need. The office will guide you through the world of academia. How do you study? How do you manage time? How do you use your library as a resource? How do you use the School of Nursing as a resource? What should be expected of you as college students? It's not the same as being in high school. It's not the same. And so you're going to have to change your mindset about how materials are delivered in college as opposed to how they were delivered in high school. It's totally different. What you're expected to be able to do as a college student versus what you did as a high school student. We're going to acquaint you with the requirements of the program, which is a part of why we're meeting today, and we're going to stress the need for acceptable performance in your courses. We help you assess the reasons for your choice of a major. Mrs. Dr. Williamson talk to you about why you want to be a nurse. What is your motivation for being a nurse? And what do you know about nursing? Because 98% of the people who come into my office and I ask them why you want to be a nurse, they tell me because I want to help people. That's an okay reason for being a nurse, but it should be more detailed than that. And you can be many different professions and help people, but you should know more about nursing than it's a profession that helps people. So we're going to do some things to get into, to dig more into what nursing is and why you want to be a nurse. Some of those sophomore students who are in the Nursing 105, you'll get into that a little more, but there are also some research things that you need to do on your own in reference to nursing. We're going to help you weigh your abilities and your interests versus what program you're in. Some of you really say you want to be nurses. If you do an abilities and interest assessment, you'll see that nursing is not necessarily the career that comes out of what your abilities and your interests are. So we're going to look at that. And then the office is also used to assist in the resolution of problems or issues you may have, whether it's trying to work through some information with financial aid, or do some things with the assessment center, or get credits on your transcript that didn't come through, or whatever the issues are. If you start with the Office of Academic Support, we can try to help lead you so you won't be running all around the campus like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to get a resolution to something, and it could be a one-step process. So start with the Office of Academic Support first. We're usually here from 8 to 5. Some days I'm here after 5. It all depends, but the easiest thing to do is to call and see if I'm in the office before you come over. Ms. Pendergrass talked about a thing that I hammer into everybody's head, and that's reading. Reading is fundamental. You cannot be in this program without reading. It's just no way. And it's not about you just reading to pass a test. It's about reading for knowledge, because everything you learn you will carry over into your career. So it's not a read it, okay, I tested on it, I'm done with that, and then it goes away. That's not what happens. You're reading for information. And your nursing textbook, and your anatomy and physiology textbook, and I dare not say your microbiology textbook, will be sources and resources for you once you graduate and become an RN. There are a lot of RNs who still have their textbooks from nursing school from years ago, because there's sometimes you have to go back and refer to things. And then they may even buy updated versions of a book to review information. So don't sell your textbook once you're finished with the class. You will need those textbooks again. At Hampton University, you're required to know the policy, and they publish the policy so that you can refer back to them. And there are policies in reference to academics, there are policies in reference to behavior. And so your resources are the Hampton University Academic Catalog, which is online under current students on the Hampton University website. Your Hampton University official student handbook, which you all should have received as freshmen when you came in. And then there is the School of Nursing, Hampton University School of Nursing handbook, which is on the School of Nursing website. You can download and print out. Those are your policies and code of conduct resources. And I strongly suggest that you review those policies, because they're going to affect you somewhere along the way. And I didn't know, nobody told me, is not a defense, because it's in writing and you can read it. So you're going to have to review those resources. And I'm going to give you an example of something that happened to a student. The student was in school of nursing. There was, let me give you 2 instances. There's one involved a freshman. There was a fight on campus. And students were turned in for fighting on campus. And when you get turned in, I mean, you know, it goes to Vice President of Academic Affairs. And so when the students go into that office, it may go to Dean of Women and then go to Academic Affairs. But when students went to the office, they sat there and they looked at them and they said, have your things packed by 5 p.m. and off this campus today. And that's it. That's in the official handbook, student handbook, that you all receive. No defense, no talking, and the things packed at 5 p.m. and off campus. There was a young lady who was in her senior year of nursing school, and she was involved in a fight. And the other person who she was involved in the fight with went to the dean of women and student affairs. And so the student received a hand-delivered letter by campus police. Be off campus by 5 p.m. today. No question. I need you all to read their handbook. If for any reason you are arrested off campus, nothing to do with Hampton University. If you are arrested off campus, pack your bag by 5 p.m. You're out of here. So I need for you all to be aware, and that's why I'm telling you how to find these resources. I need for you to be aware of what the policies are for the school. I need for you to be aware that if your GPA falls below a certain level, you are on probation, and by the following semester, you're out of school. I need you to be aware of these policies. Everybody understands why I'm telling you this? I'm not telling you this, I am telling you this to scare you, but I'm telling you this so that you know that it can happen, and so that you don't fall into a trap. You can be perfectly innocent in whatever happens wherever you are off campus. But if you happen to be with the source of confusion, then you are deemed guilty, and you're gone too. Whether the people that you were with have been shoplifting and you didn't have anything to do with it, but you were with them, you're gone. If you are riding in a car with somebody, they just having a good time doing the puff, puff, give, but they pass it by you, even though you didn't give or puff, you have inhaled the fumes. Therefore, it is in your system. You understand what I'm saying? And the school has a zero tolerance policy for drugs. So, please read, because once it gets to Dr. Inman, there's absolutely nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing. So I need for you to be aware. It also contains the rights of students. So I need you to be aware of your rights as a student, the things that you can expect from the university, and the things that the university expects from you. The same thing with school and nursing. Yes.
One thing, just for your knowledge, the entire session is being recorded, and so at the end of the session, I'll send out the link of the entire recording. So for those, if you wanted to review it, to catch up, and also the PowerPoint, I'll also send it out as well with all the hyperlinks. If you're not good at taking notes, I'll send it to you, or you can review it. The link can work on your mobile devices and your physical desktop laptops. Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, there are additional services or resources on campus that can assist you. The Assessment Center, which is located in Armstrong Slater, as well as the Counseling Center, which is located there, and they have tutors, free tutors, that are available to you. So if you know right now that you're struggling with some classes, go over there and take advantage of the tutoring services. There's testing services, and of course if you're having some issues with health, you have the Student Health Center. And then they have additional resources that they may recommend students to take advantage of. So in the School of Nurses, the resources are the computer lab, which is located right down the hall, all the way to the end of the hall to your right. Mr. Skeet runs that computer lab. There's a link to financial aid and scholarships for nursing. the forms and booklets associated with the School of Nursing. The clinical manual is there, the School of Nursing student handbook, frequently asked questions for persons who are looking for information from the School of Nursing. There's a grade calculator. There's a grade calculator on the university website under Center for Teaching Excellence, and then the grade calculator is also on the School of Nursing website. Information on the grievance policy and procedure is located in the academic catalog, it's located in the official student handbook, and it's located in the School of Nursing handbook, but it's also listed on the website. Then you have your clinical lab information for the Nurse Resource Center, and then, of course, the Office of Academic Support Service. All right, so this is just a picture of our College of Virginia Beach campus. On the main campus, we offer the undergraduate Bachelor of Science, we offer the Masters of Nursing, and then we have the PhD program in nursing. Under the traditional Bachelor of Science program, you all, of course, were admitted as undergraduates, but we emphasize that just because you were admitted as undergraduates for pre-nursing, that does not mean that you will automatically go into the professional nursing program. There are admissions requirements that you would need to meet. And there is a separate application that you would do for that. In that application, you have to, of course, you have to submit the application. You have to submit your official transcript. You submit recommendation forms from faculty on campus. It does not necessarily have to be nursing faculty, but it does have to be faculty. And let me explain this, because I didn't realize that this was such an issue until last year. Faculty means teacher. Faculty means teacher, not coach, not mentor, not advisor, not family friend. Faculty equals teacher on Hampton University's campus. And then you also have to take the HESI A2 admissions examination. And that HESI A2 admissions examination covers reading comprehension, vocabulary, grammar, math, biology, anatomy and physiology, and chemistry. So by the time, those of you who are first semester freshmen, by the time you have take the HESI exam, you will have taken the math and the science courses that are going to be covered on the HESI A2. There is a study guide available on the Evolve website. There are study guides. The HESI A2 study guide is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold. You don't have to buy it, but there are a lot of people who ask about if there is a study guide available. So yes, there is, and you can utilize the HESI A2. You have two opportunities to get the required scores on the HESI A2. At this point in time, the required score is 75 across the board. And that means 75 in each area. Could possibly go up, but not for this year's application pool. So as a student looking to apply to the professional program, you should have a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher. And in a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you how the admissions committee calculates GPA. So I want everybody well aware of that. So you have to have a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher. For the group that's going to be applying to the professional program in March 2017, your GPA has to be, math and science GPA has to be 3.0 or higher. You have to have successfully completed the general education courses with a grade of C or higher. Your math and science have to be C or higher. But you know, in order to have a 3.0 GPA, you can't have more than one C in order to get that 3.0 GPA. When applying to the program, You can't have more than one course withdrawal in math and science courses. Extenuating circumstances will be considered. We know there are times when people get sick and they have to withdraw that semester or whatever, so we'll look at extenuating circumstances. However, if there appears to be a pattern of withdrawing from math and science courses to keep from failing, that does count. Math and science courses are a foundation of nursing courses. So if you know that math and science is not your strong area, you should be working with tutors right now. And you cannot have more than one repeat in math or science courses combined. So if, let's say for example, if you get a C- in your math 110, and then you repeat it, and you get an A or B in the course. And then finally you take Bio 225, Anatomy and Physiology 2, you get a C-. Then you're no longer eligible for the professional program, because that is more than one repeat in math and science. So I need that to be very clear. I mean, it's in writing, and I don't know how to make it any clearer than that. But you cannot have more than one repeat in math and science courses in order to apply to the professional nursing program. Before you enter the professional nursing program, in fact, the semester that you apply to the professional nursing program, you will be enrolled in a science course, and you will be enrolled in 3 or 4 nursing courses. You cannot have more than one failure in a nursing course. So when Dr. Williamson was talking about how rigorous the program is and how you have to really, really be focused coming in as freshmen, you have to be focused on your study. You have to be dedicated to it. If this is what you really want to do, you're going to have to put the time in to study. There are some things, she said she wanted you to party. I want to say, no, I don't want y'all to party. But she said she wanted y'all to party. Yes, we want you to have the social experience of being in college. Yes, we do. That's all part of the fun of going to college. But understand, when you have 3 hours of fun, you got to put in 6 hours of study. You've got to be able to manage your time. You've got to be able to shut out some things. I know for some of you, it's next to impossible to study in the dorm. What does that mean? You got to come out that dorm. You have to come out that dorm and you have to go into the library and find yourself a corner that you can go in and study, because your grades are crucial. Your grades are crucial to being admitted into the nursing program and then graduating from the nursing program. Once your application is completed, applications for those sophomores, applications are due March 15th by 5 p.m. if March 15th is Monday through Friday. If March 15th falls on the weekend, then by that Monday morning, 8 a.m. And trust me, I'm standing at that door at 7:30. Anybody that comes in after 8 o'clock to hand me an application, you keep it, use it for next year. And I am very serious about that, because you have to be able to do things on time.
I started to do that this year. I was in the office and the student came in at 8:05 and she said exactly that. And the student started crying, and I felt bad for her, but it's what we do. So I would tell you, this is unlike any experience you ever had. We used to do things on time. We were professional. She came at 8:05 and Miss Lexi, I was there. I'm witnessing it.
It's important that you be able to follow directions. As nurses, you have to be able to, 1, read, 2, critically think, and 3, follow directions. And if you can't do those things, you're going to kill somebody. 1, you may not make it through the nursing program, but if you by some chance do, and you can't do those things, you're going to kill somebody. And it is just that serious. So we have to get you into that mindset now, that you have to be able to follow directions, you have to be able to read, and you have to be able to critically think. You're not a mindless robot. You don't just read and follow the directions. You've got to think about it, whatever it is that you have learned. Case in point, you're the nurse. The physician has left instructions for you to give patient XYZ a certain amount of medication. The person that's laying in the bed, 5 feet tall, 85 pounds. According to the instructions the physician left, the dosage of the medication that he left is for a person who's well over 300 pounds. So as a nurse, what would you do? Somebody tell me out loud. I'm not going to jump on it if you get it wrong. Call the doctor. And you're not calling the doctor. You got this wrong. What are you thinking about? Sir or ma'am, in your instructions for patient, da-da-da-da-da, the dosage of medication that you put was such and such and such. And then give you a description of the patient. Is this what you intended to write? Okay? That's an example of critical thinking. You've got to use what you've learned, reading and following directions, going by the directions. You have the decisions that you have to make. Okay? All right. So you apply to the program, you submitted everything one time, and your applications are forwarded to the admissions committee, and they review, and I will tell you that they are considering adding in interviews as a part of the process. So the committee meets, and they're looking over all the paperwork, and they're making decisions, and let's say you don't get into the program. Well, there's going to be a couple of reasons you may not get into the program. Either the application was incomplete, you did not have the competitive grade point average, your HESI scores were too low, you had below C+ on several nursing courses on the nursing course, or you didn't have math and science GPA. But, or number of applications we don't have space, which that hasn't happened yet. Okay? And so I will tell you, don't call me asking why you didn't get in. Review the admissions requirements. That's what I'm going to tell you. Review the admissions requirements. If you're admitted to the professional program, you will receive, not later than April 1st, you will receive a letter of provisional acceptance into the program. And it's provisional because you will be currently enrolled in some nursing courses and a science course. And so your full acceptance will be contingent upon you successfully completing those courses. And we did have some students who were provisionally accepted but were unsuccessful in some courses, so they are delayed in their status. All right, so you're admitted, and welcome to Hampton University School of Nursing. And so once you're admitted to the nursing program, then comes a whole other set of criteria. You have to be clinically cleared, which are documents that are required by the hospital agencies for you to come in to practice, and that involve money. So you have to have your physicals, your immunizations, your CPR certification, malpractice insurance. You have to have criminal background checks and drug tests, and none of those things are included in tuition. Your textbooks, uniforms, and supplies are not included in tuition. So those are extra things on top of tuition that you're going to have to consider making sure that you have when you begin the professional program. Clinical days can be any time, Monday through Sunday, 6 a.m. to midnight. You must be flexible, and you must have transportation, or you must get with somebody who can help you with transportation. Your clinical sites can be in Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Suffolk, Newport News, Hampton, Williamsburg.
Petersburg.
Petersburg too?
Yeah, we got to place facility there.
Okay. So wherever we get clinical sites, that's where you go. And understand that is in every nursing program in America. Whatever sites, clinical sites are available to the schools of nursing, that's where you have to go. So you need to be prepared for that. Child care, we don't have so much of an issue of that on this campus, but child care is not the responsibility of the School of Nursing. And so no, you can't bring kids with you to class. You can't have them in the building. It's a liability issue. So make sure, if by any chance any of you have kids, that you have babysitters and you have a backup to the babysitter and a backup to the backup babysitter, and you have people who are willing to work with you to help make sure you are successful in the nursing program. Then once you get into your senior year, you're looking at another set of fees, the graduation fees and the NCLEX application fees. NCLEX application fees can be anywhere from $400 but it can be higher than $400 depending on what state you are trying to be licensed in. And so those kinds of things you have to start thinking about. All right. So the curriculum that I have on the screen are your pre-professional nursing courses. And so these are the courses. If you look at year 2, second semester, those are the courses that you're going to be in when you apply to the professional program. So you see the first and second semester of freshman year is jam-packed with 17 credits. And then the first semester of the second year, you have 16 credits. Now this is assuming you don't get behind in anything. Because if you start getting behind in something, then you need to be considering summer school. Because this is a heavy load. This is a heavy load. And I don't like having to try to get override forms approved for people to take 18 and 19 credits in a semester because it's too much. It's too much. So this is the pre-professional nursing curriculum. And then the second part of it is your professional nursing program. Now note that the professional nursing program begins in the summer. And so what I would say to you is, don't come up to me in the spring after you've been admitted to the professional program and ask me how you're going to pay for the summer. You've got to work on that. That's why we talk about it now, so you can start talking about it with your parents. And then as you get into that semester, and so for those people who have financial aid or scholarships, and I know everybody looks forward to that refund check because I know I look forward to it. Hold on to that refund. Tuck it away in the bank because you're going to need it later. When you start talking to financial aid about how can I stretch my financial aid out to cover the summer course because it's 8 credits during that summer. Okay? So in the professional program, you have semesters. Of course, you don't have 17 credits. If you have 17 credits, you shouldn't have them. Because the goal was to take out all of the general education courses so that you could focus on nothing but nursing courses. But believe me, these 12 and 13 credits would have you spending. Okay? So what I want to do with you all today, let's see, how can I get that calculator? I want to give you an idea of how you can calculate your grades. And how you calculate them the way the admissions committee is going to calculate your grades. So we're going to do it on the screen so that you can see how it's done. All right, so this section is from, on the university website, there is a link under departments, I think it is, for the Center for Teaching Excellence. And under the Center for Teaching Excellence, there is a section, a little menu, and you'll see grade calculation aid. And so in that grade calculation aid, it'll say download Quo Vadis, and you click on to download Quo Vadis, and then a screen similar to this will come up. And so what I like to use to do the calculation is under departmental honors. And so on the thing you will see where it says course number. You don't necessarily have to put in the ENG or the BIO, you just put in the course number. So we're going to do English 101 for 3 credits. And then the grade that you got in the English 101 was an F. Woo, Lord. And then the next grade you're going to put in is the English 102. And you got a B- in that course. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 credits, B- in that course. And then we still have to repeat English 101. So we're going to put 101 in. And this time we got a B in 101. So we're going to take that Math 110. Math 110 is 3 credits. And you got a C+ in Math 110. So do you see how it's putting in what the number grade is for the course? You see numeric grade, and then you see the numeric grade, and then you see quality points, and it totals it at the bottom. So as we go, do you see that it's adding in what your GPA is? Okay. And so let's do OralComm 103, 3 credits, and you got to be in that class. You're going to put in Chemistry 101. That's 4 credits, C+. What I put? I'm sorry, I didn't tab. Thank you. C+. Bio 224. 4 credits. B. Bio 225, 4 credits, A. So look at the few courses that we've added in. And so with these courses, it's a 2.489 so far. So as you go along, at the end of the semester, your GPA is on your HUNet transcript. It's on your grade sheet, yes. But when you get to the part of you repeating courses, you repeated, I had to repeat in 102. Let's change this. All right. So you repeated 101, and you got a B- in it. For Hampton University, if you take a class, and let's say you fail the class, Hampton University, you must get a C in English. Here, that's not a School of Nursing requirement, that's a Hampton University requirement. And so you got an F in English 101. And then you repeated it and you got a B-. Both grades are going to show on your transcript, but only the B- is calculated in your GPA. Okay? But for the purposes of applying to the School of Nursing, everything is counted. Okay? So the GPA that you see on your Hampton University transcript may not necessarily be the GPA that the School of Nursing calculates for admission to the program. Does everybody understand what I'm saying when I say that? So I need for you to be able to calculate your GPA before you even apply. And then with this, you can put in courses that you haven't finished taking yet. Put in, let's say you put in the Bio 304, and you want to project that you get a B in that class because you want to see what it does to your GPA. And you want to put in another course and put in a grade, but you want to see what it will do to your GPA or what grade you need to get in order to obtain the GPA that you want for applying to the professional program. Okay? So, we'll go over this maybe in a little less detail in the next meeting. But we'll go over this when we meet for pre-registration advisement, not the GPA calculation. I'll tell you where you can find it. But so that you will be able to do that on your own and not be surprised at what your true GPA is. The other thing that I want you all to be able to take advantage of is the website khanacademy.org, KHAN academy.org. It is a wonderful tutorial site for every subject that you will have, your English, chemistry, biology, even some of your nursing courses. Go to that site. Whatever you're having trouble with, you just put it in that site, and then it will come up and do the tutorial for you. You can play it back as many times as you need to play it back. It does the demonstration, it does the visual demonstration, and then the audio, step by step. So please take advantage of that khanacademy.org website. Take advantage of the tutoring service. Don't wait until after midterm to start running and screaming for help. Save copies of everything that you get. If there is a dispute about a grade or something that you turn in or you say you turn in, you should have copies of everything, and you should have proof that you turned it in. School of Nursing utilizes Blackboard, and a lot of your assignments are to be submitted through Blackboard. And if they are not submitted through Blackboard, then they are not submitted. Blackboard gives you proof that you submitted it, and you have a copy of what you submitted. It is to your advantage. So please utilize Blackboard. Familiarize yourself with Blackboard, because that is what we use for assignments. Any questions? I know we covered a lot of information today, And so what I'm going to say is that there will be another email sent out about a meeting in December. That meeting in December, by then I should have met with all of the pre-nursing students in reference to registration. And in that meeting, we're going to review the HESI A2 exam. And for those persons who will be taking the HESI A2 in January, we'll talk about how you register, how much it's going to cost you to register, and the information in reference to test day. Okay? So we'll have a couple of meetings this year, and each time we're going to emphasize something different. Any questions? Again, yes, ma'am.
Any questions for me to ask? What kind of writing style are you using? Like the
It should be APA format. Any questions? Anybody having trouble accessing teachers or getting the additional help from instructors that you need? You need to let somebody know. No questions? No questions? Thank you very much. I hope everybody signed in. Put your chairs on them. Make sure you take your agendas with you. And this is posted on Blackboard. No person.